Dubs fans, how we feeling? Golden State Warriors fans, how you doing? So the Warriors are 9-9, right? They have a 500 record. And I just want to do like a quick little check-in, right? This is actually Sunday evening. This may not get out till Monday, but it's Sunday evening. A few things happened over the weekend, Warriors related. And not only does it sort of vindicate some things that I've been saying earlier, it also leads to further questions. So first, I guess let's start with the injury report, right? Al Horford's out for at least a week with a sciatica or hamstring. It's sort of in that area. Jonathan Kuminga is out, and Coach Steve Kerr says that he's not moving well with bilateral knee tendonitis, and there is no timetable for his return. Steve Kerr, coach, said that he thought that JK might be ready for Monday. He's definitely not ready for Monday, right? Draymond Green is questionable with a foot injury, and I believe that Green got imagery. I think Kuminga's going to get imagery, but that's it. There has been more. That's almost beyond. That's central, actually. But there's been a peripheral noise regarding Jonathan Kuminga that he feels or something. Like, it's literally always like Jonathan Kuminga, like something feels this way about something, without any data, without any proof or anything like that, right? So it's very tough to just continue to navigate Jonathan Kuminga's feelings, but that is actually what the big thing is. So the long story short, okay, I'm gonna let you know. I'll give you the omelet. Is that I guess Kuminga didn't like that the Warriors won a few games against the Spurs, and that fans were saying, hey, maybe the Warriors are better off without him. So what does this mean? I'm going to take a broader perspective and talk about what I was talking about with my last news and notes, right? The 24/7 social media news cycle that we now live in. We did not used to live in that, okay? Like, I told you before, right? You would get in the paper every morning, or like on ESPN every evening, you would get your sports. And generally, they wouldn't even be like, your local news would cover the local team, but I mean, coverage would be like at 5:30 and 7:30 on the local station. Long story short, we can now essentially hear from players 24/7, and the news cycle continues, regardless, honestly, if there's any newsworthy content. So, as I was saying in the last, the biggest thing that's on the Warriors side is patience, okay? The Warriors are 9-9, but there are a lot of teams that are worse than them and worse off. It is a fact that the Golden State Warriors were voted like best franchise for culture last season, right? So like best franchise essentially to play for in the NBA was voted for the Golden State Warriors. So they have that sort of, they got the good vibes going. And regardless of the Jonathan Kuminga stuff, they still have it going. Why? It's like because the team's revolved around Steph and Curry, who plays the game out of joy, honestly, and is such a positive player and person that I really think that the franchise sort of forms and has been forged. The modern day Golden State Warriors has been forged around or on the basis of Stephen Curry's altruism, being an awesome person. And also, let's talk about this. I mean, we won't talk about that much, but it's like the fact that Stephen Curry has never really, we haven't heard any weird publicity stuff from Stephen Curry, i.e. complaints like how we hear from Kuminga. Now, this is just a general Warriors news and notes, but also I really have to introduce this. So these are I love to base my thoughts and critical thinking, my thought process, critical thinking off of like data, stats, what I see and can sort of retain. Let me give you a stat though. Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond offensive rating when they're all together is second in the league. Defensive rating, second in the league. Net rating, second in the league. That's when they're all playing together, okay? Those numbers are elite. However, these players are unable, Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, unable to play sustained minutes together. They can't play sustained minutes together, right? Our big three of the Warriors, because they're too old to do so consistently. They do not play big minutes. They are almost capped out at the 30-ish minute range. So these are superstars, or two of them, or at least one, Steph, and two stars, that are unfortunately really unable to, because of age and because the Warriors are very mindful in preserving their players. Honestly, they just can't play all the time together. Okay, so they can't play sustained minutes, yet are essentially one of the better teams, or the best trio in the league when they do. First thing for the Warriors, don't panic. The Dubs are 9-9, not a great record, but many teams are worse. I've already said that, and they don't have the leadership and the culture that the Warriors have, rated number 1. If the Warriors don't panic, this is so important. This is so important about the news cycle, about not being completely reactive to everything that you see. And honestly, if you look at my Twitter or whatever, like X, I'm definitely reactive, and I am I am a little reactive, specifically over the Kuminga stuff, because it is an absolute trend with him and nobody else on the team. So, very interesting. If the Warriors don't panic or fall into a crazed social media news cycle, they may be able to turn into big winners very soon. I'm talking about in under 2 months, the Warriors can solidify at least the next few years, almost guaranteed playoffs, and probably competing. How? What am I talking about? Well, just listen. Before I offer a solution to almost all of the Warriors' issues, and I've actually done this years ago, and this is only adding one player to the equation. And it's already out there right now, which is why I sort of really wanted to get this out there, because honestly, like if you look back at my YouTube history, when he was on the Pacers and sort of spoiling it, I mean, I've had this idea for freaking years, and it's documented on this channel, right? But before I offer the solution, I have to ask you a few questions, and you can think that they're leading or not. Ponder this. Was the Jimmy Butler trade last season a curated deal for a target they've been looking for years, decades? Or was it more a trade the Warriors made because they were up the creek without a paddle and Butler said he'd come to the Warriors if they overpaid him? The second one is more true. The second one is absolutely more true. I also did a search. I did some research, and the Warriors essentially had never been linked to Jimmy Butler before he asked out of a deal. So just keep that in mind. So with that, sit with that for a second. Sit with the fact that these top 3 players that I'm talking about, the Warriors, that had that great rating, I said that they're like the second best trio. It wasn't completely like planned 100%. So sit with that. And now I'm going to enter this. I'm going to enter this into the equation and see how we all feel about it. I'd love to get some reactions, positive or negative, from Warriors fans in the comments. I think that could be a great, we could really talk about this for a while. But number one that I said is to don't panic. Don't trade. But because now we haven't panicked and the Warriors have stayed relatively quiet during this news cycle, I offer this, and it's been out there. The Warriors should absolutely trade Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. Yes, the Moses Moody that may be an all-star in the future. Absolutely. Yes, they would trade Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, and I'm going to say this because I'm actually not even kidding right here, and this is how I make a joke out of almost all these deals in a way, because I'm a nice guy. I'm throwing in a first-round draft pick, just not 2026. So the Warriors out. Kuminga, Moody, Hield, first-round draft pick, definitely not in 2026. 4, 2 players. Domantas Sabonis, yes, Domantas Sabonis, the guy that Draymond Green isn't best friends and lovers with, okay? And Keon Ellis. You heard the offer. Now you heard the offer, okay? Now I'm going to ask you this, and this is not leading. These are literal questions. I'm not trying to get you to a certain conclusion, but answer this for yourself. Is it an absolute fact? Is it a fact beyond a statistical fact? There is no doubting it. Is it an absolute fact that Domantas Sabonis is an all-star player? Has he been on multiple all-star teams? Is that a fact? Is it a fact? Sit with that. Sit with that. And if you're going to say, no, he's never been an all-star player, you should definitely seek help. Secondly, I can see, sit with this, Warriors fans. I can easily see a world, and I think that we'll see it this season, right? Where Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and Moses Moody all get limited minutes. I can see a world where they all get limited minutes. Moody, Hield, and JK when healthy for the Warriors. Like, in many ways. Honestly, hey, sit with me there. Can you see that as well? You understand? It's like, I get how now Moses Moody, now Coach Kerr says that he's a starter and he's going to shift. But hear me out. I mean, like, it is absolutely possible for Kuminga, Moody, and Hield to play incredibly limited minutes, and they have played limited minutes, and the Warriors have been fine off for it. So, in many ways, the Warriors could turn DMP, and 15 minutes start, Moses Moody, into a perennial all-star. And that's a fact. It's just like, has Moses Moody been an all-star? Could he be? No. Could he be? Yeah. Like, maybe. Has he been? No. Has Sabonis? Yes. Has Sabonis? Yes. It's like, it sometimes seems like I'm taking crazy pills because it's like, I say that Sabonis is a good player, and I have all this stuff to back it up, and everybody's like, no, he's not a good player, scrub. Dude, just because he plays on a bad team doesn't mean that he's a bad player. So now I'm going to dive in, but it's not going to be that deep of a dive. Why? Because none of this stuff can happen for like a month and a half anyways. This is just a little teaser, having fun with it, and giving a narrative to why this is just a perfectly dynamic deal. So I'll dive in. Sabonis and Draymond would be the best passing front court ever. Name a better passing front court than Sabonis and Green. Domantas Sabonis and Draymond Green in an offense predicated around ball movement and passing, ball movement, passing, tic-tac-toe. The Warriors would have two of the best, in my opinion, the best passing front court for an offense that needs a passing front court. Got it. Okay. It's like answering itself. So, having a creator, the likes they have never had before, even beyond Bogut. Absolutely, Domantas Sabonis is a better passer than Andrew Bogut, and it's not even close. It's not even close. It hurts me to believe that I think in the comments, somebody, no, Bogut's a good passer. Bogut was a good passer. Got it. Nice. Domantas Sabonis is a great passer. Like, Sabonis averaged like 8 assists a game 1 year, or like 7. Or like we can't do this. We can't do this. By the way, I've also statistically looked at good passing front courts in the past. So I have precedent. I'll give you one that people said was good because I've done this is what I do, right? Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, 1986, 1985, Boston Celtics. Some people would say that's a better passing front court. It isn't. Not even close. Statistically, it doesn't show. And like Bird might be the best passer out of all of them, honestly, right? However, McHale wasn't. He set people up. He was good at what he did, but he was like a 2 assists a game guy, 3 assists a game. So the Warriors are lacking. Okay, before this, maybe write down. What do you? I'll give you a second. What do you think the Warriors are lacking this season? Because it's been a trend. Okay, we're done now. Warriors are lacking shooting, shot creation, and on-ball defense. That POA defense, that point of attack defense we've been talking about. Guards have been destroying the Warriors left and right, by the way, in terms of dribble penetration. They lack shooting, shot creation, on-ball defense. Sabonis' passing bolsters shot selection, which will therefore absolutely bolster shooting. 100%. Guess what else bolsters shooting? Seth Curry. Steph and Seth will still be on the team. So, Keon Ellis, okay, so Sabonis, he bolsters the shot creation, and in terms of defense, Keon Ellis could combine with DeAnthony Melton to become one of the better point of attack defenses in the whole league. So what I'm saying is like this trade where Buddy Hield's a terrible defender. Moses Moody is a decent defender. Jonathan Kuminga is a bad defender. Okay, you're turning that into you're also getting Keon Ellis in the deal, and if you combine him with Melton, should be back in the next few weeks. Hopefully, knock on wood, right? All things. That's one of the best defensive backcourts. It's amazing at stopping the ball when we're talking about Melton and Ellis. Melton and Ellis combined, stop it. Stop the tape. These kids need to be locked away. Get them. Dr. Dre don't just stand there, operate. So shooting. Shooting's the last one, right? Shot creation. Oh, okay, got it. Like Sabonis is going to create all the shots. Amazing screener. Ridiculous passer. Shooting. Got it. How about this? Real quick. So everybody's like, the Warriors would lose so much shooting with Hield, Moody, and Kuminga gone. How can they? Watch this. Sabonis and Keon Ellis' career are better shooters than Jonathan Kuminga. I'm going to say that one more time. Keon Ellis and Domantas Sabonis both have higher three-point shooting percentages, career, than Jonathan Kuminga. They are better shooters who have better shot selection and their field goal percentage is decent, is good. So, shooting, Sabonis and Ellis are better shooters than Kuminga. What are we talking about here? Keon Ellis is a 42% three-point shooter. That's just a fact. I'm not making up these numbers. Go and look them up. Domantas Sabonis, 34, I believe, or so percent from beyond the arc career. So everybody's like, where would the floor spacing be? I'll tell you where it would be. The Warriors would get an insane amount of singles, as in easy takes to the hoop. That's where all your the floor spacing and all that good stuff, it's going to come from the perimeter action from the big. It will open things up down low. If it doesn't open things up down low, and worst comes to worst, you have a Domantas Sabonis or a Keon Ellis taking a three-point shot that they are better at than Jonathan Kuminga statistically. And Kuminga's got a hitch in his shot. It's like, I'm being a little aggressive here because this trade is so easy and benefits the Warriors so much that I honestly believe that I don't think that Vivek will approve of this trade regardless of how he thinks about Kuminga, because he knows. I think that he truly knows how much it can help the Warriors. I think that above all, teams will try to not help the Warriors before getting better. And with that said, because I'm on a roll, y'all, remember that I said that because Giannis, I believe that if Giannis tries to force himself to Golden State, the Bucks, and this is just telling, will say, no, I just won't trade you to Golden State. Is there case in point? Is there precedent for that? Yes. The Clippers simply outright refuse to trade Paul George to the Warriors, refuse to help. That is what I feel many teams are at in this league right now with the Warriors. Still. I wouldn't be. I think that the Thunder are a greater threat, but the Warriors hurt these guys too badly listen to me. The Warriors hurt all these guys too badly. They all have PTSD. They are all very much the only thing that is renting space in their heads is Stephen Curry and the Warriors. I'm not even kidding. Think about last night or whatever. Ja Morant and Klay Thompson got into it, and Ja goes to the Golden State, and Ja goes and says and is talking smack about Golden State. It's like, what? The Mavericks were playing the Memphis Grizzlies. Are you an idiot? Ja Morant might be an idiot, right? And also, rent-free, the Golden State Warriors. Rent-free. So you have to look out. The PTSD and the scarring is real. The things that Draymond Green and Stephen Curry did to some of these players, like Dellavedova, LeBron James, they'll never be able to get over. They are forever destroyed because of what Steph, Draymond. So those are the organizations that we're talking about, right? They want to help the Warriors. Seriously, though. Seriously. Lastly, Ellis and Sabonis, barring health. Sabonis has a meniscus issue. Said he's only out 3 to 5 weeks, so we'll see. Barring health, can play. This is big. This is big, my lastly. Sabonis in particular can play amazing bridge minutes to help control the game, okay? So that's something that they absolutely don't have right now. The Warriors are trying to do it with Jimmy Butler, with like that Butler slows down the game, takes control of the game. He hasn't necessarily been able to do it. That's just what's up. So Ellis and particularly Sabonis, barring health, can play some amazing bridge minutes to help control the game. I could see Butler and Sabonis, and specifically Brandon Pajensky and Sabonis combos, pick and rolls, playing off of each other, being incredibly dangerous. And I'll just say this. The Warriors have shown belief, very good belief in Brandon Pajensky. Unlike Jonathan Kuminga, who just simply complains about everything, it seems like, and it's everybody else's fault. Brandon Pajensky has been more positive with his talk. He's talked about where Kuminga's like, I want the ball. Kuminga's essentially like, I'm a better scorer than Steph. I want the ball. Nobody can stop me. Give me the ball. That's incorrect in every way. Pajensky's more like, hey, look, Steph is the best player, and I hope to fulfill what he has done when he leaves. But like right now, I'm learning, I'm doing my thing, I'm trying as best as I can. I'm taking the most charges in the league, right, Pods? I mean, is Brandon Pajensky the league leader in charges? The answer is yes. So, a Butler Sabonis, and particularly Pajensky and Sabonis, could be so dangerous with the pick and roll that I think people would look at Brandon Pajensky differently if he had a player to play off of like Sabonis. How about this? I think that that you can almost play a New York light. I'm not even kidding. I'm absolutely not even kidding. A New York Knicks light in Butler, Kuminga, in Butler, Draymond, and Steph's downtime. I believe that the Warriors, if they made this trade, could put out Pods and Sabonis, and it's serious, and not even kidding, and it could act as like sort of like a poor man's version of what Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns did in New York. That's not bad, y'all. That's good. So yeah, if we critically think we're able to understand the simple numbers and statistics, right? It's like some people may be like, Kuminga's a better three-point shooter than Sabonis. And it's like, okay, well, the numbers aren't there, right? The statistics aren't showing that. One player's better than the other statistically. So if we critically think we're able to understand simple numbers, statistics, and have eyes, we can see how this works. And I would say that out of the possible trades right now, number one, it stinks to even talk about them. And this does, even having this in, I'm not even kidding, like having this type of stuff in the algorithm like isn't the most beneficial towards the Warriors, right? The Warriors' stance, if they really wanted the best deal, were to be like, hey, we're never going to make a deal. We love all of our players, and it would take insane amounts to let them go, right? Like the Raptors always do. So we'll see where the narrative takes them, where this season takes the Warriors, right? But there is so much hope out there. First of all, we can't panic, right? But second of all, there is so much hope out there, and I'll just put two more names out there one of them is Trey Murphy. I love Trey Murphy, and a Pelicans fan challenged me to really look at Trey Murphy's at his games within the context of the games. They did this, I think, either 2 or 3 years ago. And I did, and I looked, I was like, wow, Trey Murphy is like a special shooter. He's great. He's a great shooter. Trey Murphy is. So he's one guy to look out for. However, I do not think that the Pelicans will deal with the Warriors without the Warriors giving up too many picks, right? So, and another, and this is just like, I really think that the Warriors would do well with this guy. But aren't the Hawks doing well? Because Onyeka Okongwu would be really, really good on the Warriors. He is a center, 6-man, from the Atlanta Hawks, and he just offers what he does, in my opinion, is Onyeka Okongwu is like like a poor man's Bam Adebayo, like a very like a do-it-all, has great ability on the boards, can finish a little bit outside, has some range, can play defense. So that's a real guy to watch out for is Okongwu. However, I think that just like the Hawks, I think that they're actually doing well this season, so I don't know about that. One more, right? So just to have some fun, one more time. Ooh, yeah. We know we're gonna do it right tonight. Okay. Vucevic, Kobe White from the Bulls. That's another like amazing. Vucevic would himself say, I love what he would do to the Warriors. Vucevic really unlocks the squad and opens it up. However, you're like, C-Train, like a 36-year-old center, things like passes from. Yes, absolutely. He opens things up so much for the Warriors, like Vucevic would. But we will see. All is totally not lost. I think that the Warriors are going to come out incredibly strong against the Jazz and against Houston. So look, they just need to keep on keeping on, sort of manage their injuries from that hellacious early schedule, and continue doing what they know best, playing winning basketball. Hey, is there any particular player I should have in the comments? Who's a player who you think I should sort of look out for or scout, or maybe not? Who's a dude out there in the NBA who you think might make a really good Warrior? Maybe I should take a look at, maybe make a video out of. Comment below, and of course, for your Golden State Warriors content, like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time at C-Train Station. Have a great one.